They're attacking. It's working. He's coming right over. Look at that. Come on in, little birdie. Jump right into the pot.
Yeah, if you didn't have the right stuff, you'd die up here, wouldn't you?
Easy.
Shit.
Yeah, if you got wet.
Huh?
If you got wet and you're up here in the fog, you'd be dead. Oh man, that sun's bright. I'm up a logging road called Chance Creeks between Whistler and Squamish, British Columbia. I just had my first haircut in I think 2 months. Thought I better show off Sarah's handiwork. She owns a salon. I'm so sick of wearing toques. I'm getting up, throwing down a toque over my fuzzy tumbleweed head and heading in the woods and being soggy and disgusting all day for days on end. I think it's the first time I had clean clothes on in ages. But anyway, I don't know if I can read. I don't know if I might be able to read my phone in the sun. The fresh snow dump. And now the fog and the clouds are clearing up. And it is a bright one. Especially after you haven't seen it in a couple weeks. But a quick note on sharing these emails with the public. What I've been doing, like I'll go out, I've been out nonstop, right, away from home, and then one day I'll finally take an hour and I'll set up the camera and I'll blast off some emails, go home, edit up a bunch of them, preload them on YouTube so they launch every day or a couple days or whatever it is, and that's what's been going on. Sometimes it's smooth, sometimes it isn't, sometimes the weather cooperates, and either way, it's never ever enough energy or time put into them to make them, you know, like high quality or whatever. But the point of this channel wasn't to entertain anybody. The point of what this has turned into, after being badgered to come out forward with what I knew about what's going on in the woods, is after I read all these, I'm reading the emails, not you. The amount of troubled people out there have lost their passion for the outdoors, lost their respect in their community and their families is overwhelming. And you guys aren't reading all these emails. You're not seeing the thousands of people who've been discredited, and it's a real sad state of affairs. It's really, really wrong. So on that note, before I get going and try to read a couple emails out before I get home, I want to send out a direct message to any of you law enforcement people who have been sworn in, get paid by the people, get paid by your communities to do the right thing. I get dozens and dozens of emails from law enforcement officers from both Canada, the United States, United Kingdom, Australia. And I get dozens of emails from those real good, true people who are deserving of that position and wear that badge with pride, and they do their job to the fullest and they serve the communities, right? Those people, kudos to you. Thank you for the support. Thank you for doing what's right. But unfortunately, there is a handful of you out there, both game wardens in the U.S., state troopers, police officers, RCMP officers in Canada, the Canadian version of a game warden, which is the conservation officer here in Canada, and all of you guys, gals, are paid by us to wear that badge on your chest and that gun on your hip and do the right thing. And the amount of you who knowingly lie to the community when it comes to what's going on out here, it's a little bit much to take. And I want you all to know that you are not going unnoticed, all right? When you have a good, hardworking, honest person in your community, look to you for support when it comes to this topic and what they've experienced without asking for it, and you look them in the eye and knowingly belittle them, shut them down, tell them they didn't see it, tell them they saw a bear, humiliate them, add to discrediting them, knowingly, you are what I would basically call in simple language, a liar, a coward, and basically a pussy, and not deserving of that badge you got on your chest or that gun on your hip. You should probably turn in that badge and go do something more worthy of yourself, all right? Because you're not doing anything for the community. When it's just a real sad state when we have people we pay to fill those positions, and they are doing the exact opposite of what we pay them to do and expect of them in that position, right? It's a great responsibility, position of responsibility, being a law enforcement officer. And this topic isn't entertainment. This is about clearing up the bullshit and getting people's lives back, getting their respect back. And you law enforcement officers that knowingly lie when it comes to this topic, or belittle people, or even threaten people or even threaten coworkers to shut up, you are truly what I would consider the scum of our communities. How else would you describe you? Think about it. You shouldn't have that badge on your chest and the gun on your hip if you're not going to support the community that pays you with honest answers and honest facts, all right? I understand that many of you law enforcement officers who have seen these things firsthand, and there's lots of you, and it's scared the living shit out of you to the point you're being scared to losing your job, your credibility with your coworkers. Oh well, too bad. Suck it up. Suck it up and get in their face and spew the honest truth. That's what you're supposed to be doing, right? Why are you going to let scared people suppress you? Why are you going to let your fright suppress you, suppress the truth? It's time for all this shit to come to an end and just come on out and everybody be honest about it. Because I don't even know what the count is now. Every single time email video hits the air on YouTube, the inbox of I think 4 or 5 different emails goes bam, and it triggers the courage of literally dozens and dozens of more people to get the courage to come forward and email their experience to me in less than 24 hours. The numbers are astounding. The numbers are unbelievable. Well, I guess believable considering what really goes on out here. It sure is amazing how, it's amazing to me how these facts can be suppressed for so long on such a large scale. But then again, if you watch what's going on in current news in the world today, I guess it's not that hard to understand, right? There's so much being suppressed and misled blatantly in our faces. It's undeniable. But anyway, I just want to send that message out to you law enforcement officers, you fish and game officers, you game wardens, you conservation officers who have looked into the eyes of troubled, innocent human beings in your community who pay you and expect you to do the right thing. And you knowingly look at them and berate them, belittle them, tell them to shut up, they saw a bear, make them go away. You guys suck. You guys truly suck. This is a very, very serious topic. These facts are real. These beings are real. Much more is real. It's going on. It's going on in every single state, in every single province, just in North America, let alone other countries. There's no way out of it. There's no way out of it. And there isn't a man alive that's going to be able to humiliate me or shame me and to keep my mouth shut. What for? What for? What are you scared of? All right? So anyway, again, to all you law enforcement officers, game wardens, conservation officers who have emailed me, thank you so much. You're so appreciated. And we are basically we're proud to have you doing what you do in our communities. So how's that for a little spiel to get the day going, huh? So, where am I? I'm in a natural rock slide, natural rock pile here. You're looking north towards Whistler. There should be a real cool view there, so stellar view that way right now. But the clouds and the fog are kind of screwing that up. So let's see if I can get something out here while I'm here. Let's see what we got. I just copied and pasted, I don't know, another 30 emails. I'm laying in bed awake for 20 minutes this morning without even reading them. It's absolutely amazing. Some of these emails are basically a book, but I will read them. Not right now, but I'll read a few. Let's see what we got here. Hi, Steve. I appreciate the progress you're making. These videos are helping a lot of people. I have to say I noticed as these first-hand stories pour in, the characteristics of these beings are coming into view. We're hearing common experiences. I just listened to your video posted December 10th, 20. You shared an email from a hunter in northern Minnesota. After your story, you made some comments. What caught my attention is when you said, earlier in the fall, in the middle of BC, when that thing was beating on the tree and somehow the sound was blocked from my ears, but the guy hunting me heard it clearly. Well, I had the exact same experience. They seem to have the ability to target a person with sounds so that only that person can hear it. I'm 63 today, and in 2011 I was hiking in western Washington State on the backside of Mount Pilchuck with a Boy Scout troop. Just a short hike and one night in the woods at Heather Lake. That night we were all in individual tents around 11 p.m. I'm guessing. I'm still awake, thinking about things. Most are asleep. I hear footsteps way out there, at least 100 yards. Wow. And think, cool, a bear, a moose. I don't pay attention to it. Then I realized whatever it is on 2 feet. It was clearly taking individual steps and crunching a bunch of bush with each step. The steps got louder as it approached the camp. I wasn't afraid, but was definitely freaked out. I quietly called to the others to know if anyone else is awake, and another adult accused me of trying to prank the kids, so I shut up. Apparently no one else was hearing it. I could hear it nice and loud. It was creeping up to us, slowing its pace down. First 5 seconds between the steps, then 8, then 12, then 15, all the way to 30 seconds in between steps. Picture its posture as I did that. Staying in that position and waiting for the next step. It got right up to the camp. It was only 10 yards away. I got out of my tent but only had a weak flashlight. The brush was thick and high and there was a huge boulder there, but I knew it was right there behind that boulder. I got back in my tent and waited for the next step and eventually fell asleep. I didn't make an effort to stay awake all night. In the morning, not a single person heard the steps, making me look like an idiot. Even my own 17-year-old son who was there needed to hear me several times before he began to believe me. Here's a characteristic I'm referring to. I think that when we hear people say, then the woods went completely quiet, no sounds whatsoever, I think maybe it isn't the woods, but rather silence is being projected onto them, specifically into their ears. I think these things may have the ability to project sounds to our ears. And if they can project sounds, can they project sights? After all, every UFO encounter I hear, they always say, and it made no sound whatsoever. The UFO is completely quiet. Maybe that's because it was a hallucination? I don't know. Just thinking out loud. Keep up the good work, Steve, and sincerely appreciate your efforts, Tom D. All right, Tom, thanks a lot for that email. Thanks for thinking and trying to come up with some answers. That's what we're all trying to do, right? And I think everything you just said is a high probability from what's been going on out there. Without a doubt. What a skill that must be to be able to project that onto another human being, right? And, again, I don't research these beings. I read you guys' emails. I observe every single thing that I see when I'm in the woods, which is probably around 250 days plus a year. So, in a way, maybe I'm a researcher. I don't know. I'm just over aware of myself and my surroundings in the middle of nowhere full time. So I learn a lot by myself as I go. I learn a lot from very intelligent people who I'm friends with behind the scenes. I learn a lot from every single email that you people email into me. And but when we experienced that ourselves this last fall, that was a big eye-opener to me. And maybe it was, I thought right away, I thought, oh, well, maybe it works. Maybe me saying, leave me alone, I'll leave you alone. I don't need to be hassled. Please don't scare the shit out of me. Maybe it worked. Must have, I don't know. But why would they beat on that tree so loud for the benefit of the new hunter, who was a very good person, not aggressive at all? Why would they do that? I haven't a clue. But I agree with you. It is probably a very, very big probability. And another thing, too, if you guys haven't noticed over the years of reading people's experiences, how many people have you heard of, they're in a tent with somebody or in a camper or in a cabin, and screams are going down, beatings are going down inside the cabin or whatever, and the person who's awake is like literally shaking the other person to wake them up, and they just lay there in a coma while it's all going down. That's been a repeated factor as well, experience as well, numerous times. And that's kind of bizarre, isn't it? Somebody laying there in a coma, like how many times you hear people, they just wouldn't wake up. I tried to wake them up. They wouldn't wake up. I couldn't wake them up until it was all done and said, and then all of a sudden the person woke up. Go figure, who knows? But anything's possible at this point of the game, right? Obviously. What do we got here? This one looks like it's not too long. Hey Steve, I hope you're doing well. My name is Logan and I'm from a small town of Massey, Ontario. I live outside the town and my neighbors, I live outside of the town and my neighbors are roughly 1 kilometer apart, to give you an idea how rural area I live in. It's mainly fields and brush all around. On Saturday, December 5th, 2020, I had an encounter with one of these beings. Me and my dad were going to our camp to check the minnow trap we have in the creek beside our camp, as we enjoy ice fishing and minnows make great bait. Anyways, we left our house and we drove by our neighbor's house, and they weren't home, as there were no cars or anything in the driveway. And as I looked out the window, I seen what I thought was a person, probably 350 yards away, walking near the edge of the field. I realized they were wearing completely black and were huge. To put it in perspective, I'm 6'5", 250 pounds. In no way a small guy. My dad is 5'10", 190 pounds. Not a small guy either. When we deer hunt together, he walks out to his, and I walk through the bush to my stand. As I walk, I can see him, and for 350 yards, he looks absolutely tiny to how big this thing was from the distance. I estimate it to at least 10 feet tall and at least 3.5 feet shoulder to shoulder. I've been watching your channel for 2+ years and always been interested in the topic and never thought I would see one of these things. Anyways, I'll update you if I ever any further encounters with one of these beings. P.S. Keep doing what you're doing, Steve. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. You're a good, hard-working, honest guy. All right, man. Thank you for that email. Recent too, December 5th. There's another one. And another one. And another one. And another one. You know, as far as keeping me informed of that sighting and what goes on your property, you know, I'm going to be straight up, I'm not overly too interested in what goes on your property. I'm not a researcher. I'm definitely not one of those douchebags from the BFRO who wants to look for a potential new place to take people in charge of money. Thought I heard something. But anyway, what I am interested in is you speaking openly about what you saw to all your neighbors and your family. Get them informed and get them up to speed with the honest facts, what's going on where you live and in the surrounding forest. That's what I'm interested in. Just speak openly and honestly about it. Educate your neighbors, your children, your family. Educate everybody. Fill them in honestly, all right? That's what we need to do, okay? That's a big, big head start, and that's my #1 priority with what I'm doing online, okay? So, but anyway, how's that for a couple of emails, a couple more? It's not ending. It's just not ending. Be safe out there. Have a good weekend. I'll read a couple more shortly.